You've been stuck at the same revenue number for months. Maybe it's 10K, maybe it's 30K, or maybe it's 50K. Doesn't matter. You have tried more ads, more outreach, more content, more hours, and every single time you hit the same ceiling. This isn't a you problem. This is a physics problem. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your business has a gravitational pull back to the same number and how to break free from it permanently. So, here's what nobody tells you about revenue ceilings. Every business has a natural resting state, a number it keeps returning to no matter what you do. You have a great month, let's say 40K. Next month, you're back to 20K. You lose a big client, the revenue loses. You close a big client, the revenue spikes. So you need to understand that the moment the client churns, you're back where you started. And I have seen this pattern with over 40 businesses I've worked with in the last 18 months. Agencies, consultants, coaches, SaaS founders, all different industries, all the same problem. And the worst part is that most founders think the fix is more, which means more leads, more clients, more effort. But the actual problem isn't volume, it's architecture. Your business doesn't have a growth problem, it has a system problem. And until you fix the architecture, you'll keep getting pulled back to the same number like gravity. And you need to understand that most businesses are fixed in this loop. And I call this the revenue gravity model. Every business operates at one of four gravity levels, and each level has a specific system gap that keep you stuck there. Once you identify which level you are at, the fix becomes obvious. Now, quick context. I didn't invent this from theory. I built this after tracking what actually moves the needle for real businesses. One client was stuck at 30K for 11 months straight. We identified their gravity level, fixed one system, and they hit 130K within 90 days. Not because they worked harder, because we moved and removed the thing that was pulling them back down. So let me walk you through all four levels. Save this video because you'll want to come back to this again. So this is the cycle, and I call this the gravity loop that traps 90% of the B2B service businesses, which means you try to sell hard, the revenue spikes, then it goes like delivery overload where the pipeline stops, the quality drops, the team is stretched thin, and then the revenues drop because there's client churn, you're back to the same numbers, and gravity wins. And this is the loop that keeps going. So you need to understand that more leads never fixes revenue ceilings. It does not work like that. And most founders are trapped in this loop for years without realizing it. So the only escape is fix the system gap at your current level first and then move to the next step. So the level one, which is the hustle trap, basically from 0 to 10K a month. At this level, you are the business. Every client comes through your network, every deal closes because of your personal effort, every deliverable touches your hands. And you need to understand that the system gap here is that you have zero acquisition infrastructure, no repeatable way to generate leads that does not involve you personally reaching out, posting, or networking. So, the gravity pull here is that every time you stop selling to deliver, revenue drops. Every time you stop delivering to sell, clients leave. So you are stuck in the loop where doing more of one thing means doing less of the other. So the fix here is that you start building, not running after get more clients. The fix is building one acquisition, just one acquisition channel that runs without your daily input. Cold email sequence, content funnel, paid ads to a booking page, doesn't matter which one. What matters is that it operates when you sleep. Most founders skip this and try to jump straight to hiring, and you need to understand that you have to stop hiring. That's how you burn cash and end up back at zero. Now, level two, this is called the operator ceiling. Basically, people at 10K to 30K a month. So, what happens here is that you've got clients. You might even have a small team and the revenue is real, but you have hit a wall. And This is one of the major and most common things that I hear. So the system gap here is no sales system. You close deals, but there's no process, no CRM tracking, no follow up sequence, no pipeline visibility. You're closing based on fee, not infrastructure. So here's the thing, I audited a marketing agency doing 22K a month. The founder was closing 60% of the discovery calls. Sounds great, right? But the problem here is only 8 calls per month were booking because there was no system behind moving those leads from interested to booked. And they had a 40 lead pipeline sitting in the spreadsheet with no follow up automation, zero. So, what we did is we built a 14-day follow up sequence, added a CRM pipeline, and automated booking reminders. The same founder, same close rate, but now 22 calls per month. So, instead of 8, it was 22 calls, and the revenue went from 22K to 65K in 45 days. Lesson 1, stop measuring cost per lead. Start measuring cost per qualified lead. If you don't know your qualification rate by campaign, you're just flying blind, right? So this is very, very important. Level 3, the delivery bottleneck. And the case study below, it proves that this fix works. It is basically when you add 30 to 60K a month. This is where most successful businesses quietly die. Revenue looks healthy from the outside, but inside, it's pure chaos. The systems gap is basically there's no delivery infrastructure. You're personally involved in every client project. Onboarding is inconsistent. Quality depends on who's working that day, and client experience varies widely. And here's the brutal math. At this level, you're probably spending 70% of your time on delivery and 30% on your growth, which means growth slows down, which means you lose a client and you will. There's nothing in the pipeline to replace them. So revenue drops right away. Gravity pull. So the fix here isn't hiring more people, it's building SOPs, onboarding workflows, and quality checkpoints that let your team deliver at your standard without you in every meeting. One agency I worked with had the founder on every single client call, 14 active clients. So 14 weekly calls, plus internal meetings, plus sales call. So the founder was working 70-hour weeks and revenue was flat at 40K for 5 months. We built an onboarding system, created delivery SOPs, and moved the founder of client calls within 6 weeks. Revenue hit 100K within 3 months. Now the founder was spending 60% of growth rather than 30%. Level 4, the scale wall. It is basically 60K a month and above. Now here, you've built something real, but growth has plateaued. The system gap is there's no intelligence layer, which means you don't have dashboards showing which channels are actually driving revenue. You don't have retention data. You don't have your real CAC by channel. You're making 60K decisions based on 6K data. Here's what's wild. Most businesses at level 4 don't need more revenue. They need to stop the leaks. I've seen businesses go from 60K to 130K just by fixing churn, not adding a single new client, just keeping the ones they had. So, which level are you at? And more importantly, where do you stand? Where do you actually have the system that breaks you out of it? Or are you just doing more of what got you here? Now, let me show you how this played out with a real business. The founder was working 65 hours a week, had tried everything, more ads, hired two salespeople, even launched a new service line. Nothing moved the number. When I mapped them against the revenue gravity model, they were clearly level 3, the delivery bottleneck, which means the founder was on every client call. Onboarding took 3 weeks instead of 3 days. No SOPs existed for any deliverable, and the team was operating on tribal knowledge. Here's what we built in 90 days. We built standardized onboarding, which means 3 weeks down to 4 days, created 12 delivery SOPs with quality checkpoints. We moved founder of client calls, built a retention system that caught churn signals 30 days early. And they moved from 30K to 130K. Same team size, same offer, same market. The only thing that changed was the systems architecture. That's what happens when you remove the gravitational pull. If you're watching this and you have recognized your level, good. That's the first step. I have put together a free revenue ceiling diagnostics that walks you through identifying your exact gravity level and the specific systems you need to break through it. And it takes about 5 minutes. So the link is in the description, or you can just comment the word diagnostic and I'll send you the link to the complete guide. So that's it for this one. You can comment at which level you're at, and I personally review all the comment and I will get back on how you can improve or what could be your next steps. Subscribe to the channel because I'll be coming up with more such audits and strategies, and I'll see you in the next one.